So, Jeremy, I have to ask you the question that I think is on the minds of every New Yorker, in this city as this story has just gotten bigger and bigger, and that is, who has the more comfortable couch, Landry Fields or your brother Josh?
Definitely my brother. Landry's, I was kind of sleeping in the fetal position. I didn't exactly fit, but definitely my brother.
How much fun has this been for you? I mean, you go from obscurity. I mean, we've heard the story now for the last 13 days, the last 2 weeks. What's it been like for you, and how much fun is it for you?
I think the biggest thing is how fun it's been, because last year was really tough, and I think me talking about it doesn't do it justice, but it was just really tough being on pins and needles the whole season, not knowing if they're going to keep me, if they're going to send me to D-League, what their plans were for the next year. And I think I had so much pressure on myself and pressure from everybody else with the media that I had lost my passion for the game, and I lost, the joy of the game. And now it's all flooding back, playing on this team, playing the way we're playing, winning games, and playing as a team.
You won a state championship at Palo Alto High in California. You weren't recruited out of high school. You sent out tapes of yourself to a bunch of schools that really didn't respond to you. At Harvard, you lead the Crimson to more success than they had had at that point in about a quarter century. It had been 25 years. Yet you still didn't really garner a lot of attention. Undrafted, of course, as the story goes now. You don't strike us as someone who's got a chip on your shoulder, but deep down, how much motivation did you draw from people overlooking you again at every step of the way, all these so-called basketball experts?
Obviously, I think it hurts. I would say I don't play to prove people wrong, but I would also say I remember every little thing that happens. And so, I know where I want to go with my career. I know I have a vision for what I want to do with this platform, and that's what really drives me and motivates me. But obviously, at times, getting overlooked would be frustrating.
Do you see yourself as the ultimate underdog?
I can't sit here and say I've done everything right, and that's why I'm here. I really honestly can't say that. I've made a lot of mistakes, and at the same time, I've had to improve a lot and work on a lot of different things. But I think God has used me and worked through me in a lot of different situations, even with my own fears, even with my own flaws. And He's used me in an underdog role, and now and elevating me to being able to play in the NBA. And that's just something where I need to give credit where credit is due. And I think, in this situation, the glory does go to God, and I can't say enough about that.
Where did the faith come from? Was it just the upbringing with your parents in your house? And you mentioned before, there were moments where you really doubted the last couple of years that this would actually happen. How much did your faith kind of pull you through?
Definitely. I think there's times when I thought of quitting, times when I thought of just hanging it up and doing something else, or taking a break from basketball altogether. I had a lot of ups and downs, but the downs were really down. And it was my faith that was just the promises, God's promises of trusting in Him and His perfect plan and His sovereignty that really got me through the tough situations, and my family supporting me. And now looking back, I can see a little bit of why everything happened the way it did, and I'm thankful for that.
I want to ask you about your father, Ji Ming. He moved to the States from Taiwan in 1977, and he said he wanted to do two things: get his PhD in computer engineering and also to watch NBA basketball. You've talked about what a hoops junkie he was, and he basically taught himself the game, as the story goes. What's it been like to have the success and to have your father, of course, and your mom watching close by with all the hard work and the sacrifices that he made?
Well, I guess there's a little bit of a misconception is that he didn't necessarily try to teach us or drill us, because he never had coaching himself. But the one thing that he always did was he would take us to play, and so we would always play. And then we ran into coaches that really developed us and taught us the fundamentals. And when we ended up playing with my dad, we would play every day. And he wasn't trying to necessarily teach us and make us into basketball stars. He just wanted to spend time with his kids and have fun, because we all love the game. And I think that's what I remember so much about my childhood, is just spending time with my brothers and my dad, and having those family moments where we're all just playing hoop.
What's his reaction been like the last couple of weeks?
He's just super excited, and same with my mom, just because I think they see a different joy in me on the court that they didn't see last year.
Obviously, a huge shout out to all the fans. Thank you for the energy as always. We love playing here.
Obviously, as parents, when you see your kids happy, it makes you happy, and so you know, I love them to death, and they love me, and so I'm just thankful that we're all able to go on this path and journey together and be happy and experience this.
You mentioned the fact that there have been a dearth of Asian American players, Asians in general, in professional basketball going back to the 1940s and 50s. Do you feel like you're a trailblazer in some respects with what you've done?
I think in some ways I'm a trailblazer. I don't really know if I want to call it that, but I think my journey is unique, and it hasn't been done that many times before. But it's exciting, and I think I like doing that. I've always kind of wanted to do something like this, and here I am, and I just hope it continues, and you know, I'm just enjoying it and trying to soak it all in.
In terms of where the team goes from here, you know, it seems like with every win, the expectation level goes up. Are you concerned a little bit that maybe that's going to get out of whack here and the expectations will be hard to fulfill?
Not really. I think our team has expectations, and that's the only expectations that we're worried about. And so as long as our team stays inward focused and that we have tunnel vision, I think we'll be okay.
I also want to ask you your relationship with your teammates, going from a guy who's at the end of the bench, now suddenly we see in timeout huddles, and you're the guy barking instructions and barking out guidance to your teammates. What's their reaction been like to you now in terms of being this overnight leader?
It's been unbelievable, the reception, how much they've helped me in my transition, how quickly and closely we've bonded as a team, and now we can pretty much say whatever to each other, and we're at the point where it's all open communication. All we want to do is win and help the team, and people are putting aside their egos, and it's beautiful to watch. And you know, as a point guard, you're a leader. I try to make sure I'm vocal, but they do the same exact thing. They give me more advice than I give them. Tyson, Jared, Amari, Melo, Barron, they're always talking to me and helping me, and so you know, it's just a mutual thing that's going on.
Mike D'Antoni admitted that he really didn't know much about you as a player after they had signed you a couple of days after Christmas. They saw you during a tryout about a year earlier. What's your relationship been like with Mike? We know, of course, his relationship with Nash and how that catapulted him to Phoenix. How's the relationship gone here with Mike the last couple of weeks?
It's grown because we've been through battles together, and we've been through games together, and he's seen more of me and I've seen more of him, and he's begun to believe in me more, and I'm helping and beginning to believe in the system and what he's preaching and his philosophy, and so we're developing that relationship and we're growing together, and that's helpful for me and for the team.
I'm sure you've heard stories of how tough the New York media can be when a team starts to nosedive.
Yep.
Eventually you guys are going to lose. Eventually everyone loses.
Yeah.
Are you worried about maybe kind of stubbing your toe, going through some tough times, what the media reaction would be, fan reaction?
No, I think I'm fine with taking criticism from the media. That's okay with me, and it may be tough for our team, but at the end of the day, we have to hold ourselves accountable to what our standards and expectations are, and not what other people want to say about us. And that's just the reality of the situation. Is if we focus on what everyone else has to say, we will lose track of what we're trying to do.
When we return, you mentioned using this on other platforms down the road. That, you know, we've heard talk that, you know, we know how deeply religious you are, that you'd like to become a pastor after your playing days are over. What other platforms do you refer to when you say that?
I think, first of all, is just sharing the gospel to as many people as I can, and I think me being a basketball player in this world, people will listen. At least some people will, just to what I have to say, and hopefully, you know, what I say will touch them. And then I have a really strong desire to do social work, and having this platform, the connections, the finances, the resources, Being able to do all that, combine it, I think it's very powerful, and I think it can be used in such a powerful and positive way. And that's where I'm headed towards, and that's what I want to do in terms of just reaching out to the community and helping underprivileged kids, at-risk youth, and helping them get another opportunity or change the direction of their life for the better.
How does this story end, Jeremy? You know, it started from obscurity. You know, they brought him off the NBA scrap heap, and suddenly the Knicks are back. Carmelo Anthony hasn't even returned yet. You know, that's a whole other story. How do you see this thing playing out?
I can't tell you how it's going to end. I can only tell you how I hope it ends, which is obviously us continuing to win some games and get into playoffs and make a deep run and hopefully win the whole thing. And obviously that's my dream, and that's our dream, the team's dream. But I can't tell you how it ends, but I can tell you this team has a lot of willpower, has a lot of heart, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we win.
Jeremy, thanks. We wish you the best.
Thanks.
And on behalf of Knick fans, good luck, man.
Thank you.
The rest of the season.
They say that the brighter the lights, the more Jeremy Lin shines. Perhaps that's why he's found his form on the biggest stage in the biggest city.